Hey everybody, good afternoon. It's Shannon Graham Cornell from Better Home Organizing, and I hope you guys are all having a great weekend so far. I wanted to spend some time today talking about home office organization and give you a little tour of my home office and kind of talk through why it's set up the way it is. This space takes up the first floor of our home. We're in a 3-story townhouse, and really the office is the main portion of this first floor. We've got access to the front door and to the garage from this space, but pretty much the only thing that's really going on here is the home office space. It is designed to serve both as the basis or the hub of activity for my business, as well as for serving as a home office for my husband and me for just the management of our household. So it needs to serve both of those purposes. So because of that, when I did the design for the layout in here, I was really focusing on those zones of activity that I've talked to you guys about before and how important those are. But I think it's especially important, particularly for my business side of the home office use, because I'm spending so much time in that space every day and needing to be able to get my hands on the tools I need, the materials I need easily is really super important. So I want to give you a tour of the layout, kind of show you how the office is laid out, and then explain why I made the choices I did. I also have two different labeling strategies. So you'll see that how I've done it, given the fact that the organizational strategy for the personal side of the home office needs to function for 2 people, whereas the business side of the home office space only needs to work for me. So you'll see how I treated those 2 spaces differently from a labeling perspective as well. But to get started, I'm going to do a flip here and give you a tour, or just kind of a general layout here so you can kind of see how the space works. By the way, those of you who are interior decorators will note that I have nothing on this wall over here because I haven't figured out what I want to put there yet. I can't decide if I want to do artwork or what kind of artwork. I don't really need storage on the wall, but that could be kind of cool too. I don't know. And then I definitely need an area rug. So this is not done from an interior design standpoint at all, but that's all right. That's not my main wheelhouse. So I'll figure that out at some point, but it is organized the way I need it to be. So I'm going to start just over here on the right. This is actually the space that functions to take care of our personal household needs. So this is the section of the office that's at the base of our stairs leading up to the living level of the home. So the reason I chose this side of the room to house the personal stuff is because I wanted it to be easy when we came down from the living level to this level, that we didn't have to go behind the desk or climb over any other furniture, that what we wanted to do in this space was right here, readily available to us as we came down the stairs. And then again, easy entrance, easy exit to get to the space. So over here we've got, this is actually the space that Michael uses when he works from home, which doesn't happen all that often, but we've got a space set up for him. A couple things happening in this space here. One, this is our personal inbox. So this top tray is Michael's. The next one down is mine. Note, by the way, the difference in the stuff in the inbox there. And then the things down here on this lower level, this is where I keep coupons and receipts that I don't want to lose track of. So that's where those things live. Printer. And here's our filing. This is actually, these boxes here are a photo scanning project that we've been doing for our family that we're working on. So these are actually, these 2 boxes here are getting digitized. And then these will be given back to my aunt, who actually was the the one who asked us to do the digitizing project. But next to it here, this is our filing system. And so we've got, I wanted to make sure that I didn't have anything with a lid or a file cabinet. This is actually another version of the Alpha Storage Project products that we've talked about before. This is their file cabinet solution. But I have file cabinet, labeling supplies, extra folders here, and then I have a catch-all drawer that is with things that are to be filed or to be figured out. So you can see I'm behind on the filing that we need to do, but that's an upcoming project for us at some point here as well. So, again, I wanted this side to be easily accessible at the base of the stairs. So right when you come downstairs, you can get to this, no problem. This is really kind of where our personal stuff is. I do have over on the side of the room, or along this wall, this is where I've got, again, these are mostly personal supplies, although I can leverage them for my business if I need to. But this is where we've got, pens and pencils and notepads and the printer paper, all of our mailing supplies, our our checkbooks, that kind of stuff goes in there. And notice I do have all of these things labeled. So this is a cabinet, and the one next to it as well is something that Michael will be accessing also. So I wanted to make sure that things were labeled so that he knew, since I was the one that set up the organizing system, I wanted to be sure that he also would know where these different things lived. So again, this is on the side of the room that is intended to be on the personal side. And the cabinet next to it does the same thing. I actually have a few books. We actually don't have any bookshelves in our house. We got rid of a lot of our books. We are both very much Kindle people. So most of our collection of books, except for some sentimental ones, some memorabilia type stuff, we keep those in one of these cabinets down here as well. But that's really where we store books. Because again, that's not something that we have a whole lot of. We did a big downsizing there. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to this side. This is actually all the work side. So this space over here is my space, and it's set up to do typical, computer setup here. I do have a separate inbox that I want to show you. You can see I've got some filing to do here, some sorting through here to do as well. But this inbox is all work stuff. So it's business cards I need to scan. It's documents that are in process for me. It's my work journal that I have. This is where everything just goes to sit when I'm not done dealing with it yet, but I need it to be easily accessible. You can tell from the way that the rest of the room is laid out. I'm fairly partial to having things put away. But this is one area where I do want to have things available to me, within reach. But you can see that the rest of the desk is fairly cleared off. I try to keep it with as much workspace available to me as possible. And I've also got a secondary table on this side that is all workspace as well. I actually used to keep client folders on this desk, client paperwork, thinking that I would come around the desk and sit here at this table and work. But what I was finding was very often I would need to refer to paperwork while I was sitting at the computer. And it just got, I realized that I really was avoiding going and getting the paperwork because I'd have to get up and walk around the desk. So I've moved it now to the credenza behind my desk. So I've got more storage behind the desk. I'll bring you over here and show you. These folders actually those are my client folders. They do have labels on them. I just have the files turned around because they have people's names on them. So I didn't want to show it, for the Facebook Live. But this kind of column here that we're looking at is where I have a lot of supplies for either my clients or organizing. So kind of some getting started folders here. This is where my work bag lives when it's not in use. And that box next to it over here is all supplies that I will put in my work bag or take out depending on the job that I'm doing. And then over here on this side of the credenza is where I've got all of my office supplies that are specific to work. So I said that I had, I did dip in over in the personal space to get to the office supplies. But I really only do that if I've run out of things on this side. So this is the side I work from. So this is actually a leftover drawer organizer that was in our kitchen, and we took it out and replaced it with some other stuff that we got that we liked better. But I decided to use it down here. So this is where I've got my office supplies that I use fairly regularly here. Notice I don't have any labels on here. I know where everything is here. I know what is in each basket. And so I don't need to have labels here because this isn't a space that Michael gets into. In fact, Michael's not allowed to come into this space because every time this is just a tray sitting on a shelf. And every time he tries to get in here, he ends up pulling the tray too far out and dropping the whole thing on the floor. So he's not allowed to use this space. But I've got, banking supplies here. I've got doodads for my computer go in this one. This one is large office supplies that won't fit in that tray. And then down below are just some supplies for organizing extra shelf liners and inspirational items that I keep to look at, if I'm getting ideas for brochures or whatever. So if I find a brochure that someone's done that I really like, I save a copy of it in here so I can have it to look at if I'm working on a brochure for myself. So, but that's really the layout here. So being very thoughtful about what supplies are needed for the personal side of my life, what supplies are needed for the business side of my life, and making sure that those things are pretty clearly divided. There's kind of a line that runs down the middle of the office that, work side, personal side. And then making sure that the things that we need in order to do our various activities down here are readily available. So again, I'm a big proponent of using your activity and the supplies that you need in order to support that activity be a key guiding principle for you when you are trying to figure out where you should put things. You may, depending on how much workspace you have available to you, you may want to have more things out versus put away than I do. One of the things to think about as you're organizing any space, but I think particularly in a home office is helpful, is what is your organizing style? So do you like to have things out and available that you can, they don't have to open a cabinet or open a drawer or take a lid off of something in order to get to your supplies? Or do you like to have everything tucked away? Like most of my supplies are tucked away, but there are some things that I do want to have available to me as I'm working on, at my desk, at my workplace. So that the inbox that I showed you, that's really my one thing that I have sitting out that I can easily put my hands on very quickly. I don't mind going, behind me into a drawer to get, or into a pull-out tray to get a pencil if I need one, or a pen. I don't mind doing that at all, but I do want to have the papers that I'm working on for the workday available to me. So think about what your tolerances are, what your preferences are for how you want to put your hands on things, and that'll really help when you're trying to figure out what it is that you want to have in each location and how you design your space. So that is my thought for today on getting your home office organized. And I hope you have good luck organizing your home office. And I will see you tomorrow for another installment. We're almost done. It's day 29, I think, out of the 31. So I'll be finishing. Hi, Helen. So I'll be finishing up the Facebook Live event on April 1st, as I said. I'm a day behind because Facebook decided to break on all of us a few weeks ago. So couldn't do Facebook Lives that day, but I'll get caught up on April 1st. So I will see you tomorrow and Sunday and then Monday. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.